Greetings, everyone. Welcome to what we call the Mentoring Corps Q&A series. This is an opportunity, particularly for undergrad students at HBCUs, to ask mentoring corps like myself questions about career and academic studies and behavioral health. My name is Denzell Brown. I'm a counseling PhD student um, at Howard University, and I would like to go ahead and get started with our Q&A series for today. So, one of the first questions that I have from Deja from Bowie State University. The question that was posed was about what are some ways that people interested in psychology can enter the field and earn their license as a psychologist. One of the key ways this can happen is you can earn either a master's degree, also with some programs accept bachelor's degrees, and you can accrue experiences. Say if you don't have any experience from a master's program, you can accrue experiences that are translatable to the field of psychology. This could be um, life coaching, having experiences with like qualitative interviewing, anything related to the behavioral health field that you can think of, experiences with childcare or camp counseling. These are all translatable or transferable skills that would suit you well in entering a PhD program. Also, you want to think about accruing a certain amount of research hours and publishing. Publications and presentations are one of the key things, and along with therapeutic experiences and practical experience, are one of the key things that programs look for. So if you're going to accrue experiences that are translatable to the field, and also either earn a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and you apply to your PhD program, and you complete that PhD program, which will take 5 years, and go forth and take your licensure exam for the state you want to be licensed in, what we call the E.P.P. Then you'll be licensed as a psychologist. Okay. My next question I have is from Kenya, from UDC. They're asking about how um, can psychologists in the behavioral health field serve other roles outside of the therapy space. One of the key things that I've learned throughout my career development is that psychologists can play multiple roles. Psychologists can provide clinical supervision in which they offer guidance, feedback, and training to training professionals that's earning their degrees, even a master's programs or doctoral programs. They give them with oversight and insight on how to conceptualize cases, how to accurately diagnose, how to accurately provide ethical and culturally competent mental health services. This could be through assessments, group therapy. Also, psychologists can do something called consulting. They can have contractual agreements with organizations to solve referral questions, and that's extremely important when we think about industrial organizational psychology, but also educational psychology. A lot of schools and a lot of organizations are looking for ways to improve the efficiency and the functioning of their agencies and institutions. So, two that come to mind is clinical supervision, but also consultation, which are both very lucrative options that psychologists can take part in. The next question is from Brandon at Morgan State. The question is focused on how can individuals in the field find ways that are culturally competent to work with diverse populations. The main feedback that I have received throughout my training is one, doing the having the understanding of different worldviews, cultural norms, and different ways of people's living conditions and also their social cultural background. Having knowledge about that, but also finding ways to expand that knowledge through things like culturally adapted treatment interventions. Also, learn about um, different ways of coping among different cultures. So having a comprehensive knowledge of not only someone's culture and their practice and rituals, but also finding ways to immerse oneself and ground oneself in different cultures and finding ways that this can be applicable and relevant to populations that are diverse and finding ways to um, debunk and dismiss, demystify a lot of misconceptions people have about working with minoritized or oppressed populations. So that would be my answer to that question. And my last and final question comes from Kenya, Kenyatta, my bad, at excuse me, College State. They're asking about how can psychologists find ways to integrate more community efforts into their work. My answer to this question would be to focus on finding ways to partner with grassroots organizations, but also to do outreach. The little things like making brochures, pamphlets about factual, evidence based information about the field of psychology, resources that people may feel is helpful in getting treatment and care are very important things. So I think about partnerships, I think about outreach, but I also think about finding ways to, if you're going to research lands, participatory action, have members from communities engage in research projects so they can be active participants as opposed to sources of knowledge that you're just extracting data from. So it was an honor and privilege and pleasure to ask and to have some of these questions asked to me and answer and reflect on those. And I hope you found this video helpful and useful to your career development. To all my undergrads out there, I wish you nothing but success and light throughout your career journey. Thank you.